Hi, my name is Shellie Banks. Welcome to Kunming School. I'm from the US, but I live in the Philippines, and this is actually, I've come to China about 4 times, but this is my first time coming to Kunming. I think the first thing that drew me to Kunming was coming to Keats here at Kunming is their website. And I looked on the website and it was very, very clear what they offered and what the school looked like, and they gave a very, very clear picture of what Kunming was like. And so I began inquiring. I spent about 3 months on the computer researching schools. One thing I really loved about the school before I even got here is that if I asked a question, they got back to me that same day. Like within 2 or 3 hours, they would answer my question. And I decided to come here, and I was a little concerned. As a language teacher, I wanted to have some input into my class. So I sent them an email and I said, this is the book I'm using and here's some of the things I need to study, and would it be okay? And they said, sure. They do one-on-one classes. They would allow me to put my own input in there. So I trusted the school, and I came into Kunming, and of course, like any tourist coming into a new city, you wonder, am I going to be able to get to the hotel? Who's going to be at the airport to meet me? And it was absolutely no worry. I saw my name for the first time in my life actually on a piece of paper, because no one comes to the airport to pick me up. And there was my name, and they took me straight into, my host took me straight into the taxi, took me to my hotel. They helped me with my luggage. My teacher came the next day and met me, took me out to lunch. And we had a great conversation about what I was looking for, what I wanted to do. And I gave her all the vocabulary that I wanted to learn. And she had my book. And we actually talked about an hour and a half the day before classes started. And I have to say, I'm absolutely happy and pleased. I've learned so much. I'm only here for 2 weeks. We covered all my food vocabulary, my clothing, and the buildings. And tomorrow we're going to go to a bookstore and learn how to navigate around a Chinese bookstore. I spend a portion of my time speaking, writing, we read, we discuss the Chinese culture here in Kunming. People in Kunming are fabulous. I'm used to being stared at as a foreigner, but the Chinese people in Kunming, they study you. And they don't just stop and stare, they actually stop and study and look at me, and they come up and they ask me questions, where am I from? And I think that's really interesting, and they bring their children up to meet me. Anyways, I think one of the things that's going to stay with me is I asked my teacher, so one of the things I wanted to really get was a map of the US with every single state. How do you say that in Mandarin? I've always wanted to know all 50 states in Mandarin. And we've got this great map that we fill out every day, and this world map that we go to. So I feel by the end of my 2-week stay, I will know every US state, as well as some of the major cities and some of the major sites in the US. And that for me is really important. So I suggest, if you're looking for one-on-one input in your class and study and a great experience in a language school, I can't stay at the accommodations here because they're booked. And that must mean that it's pretty good here. But every morning when I come in, there's so much energy in the cafeteria, in the lounge. Even the teachers who are not my teachers speak to me on the street. Everyone wants to encourage you to speak the language. And I know I'm going to be returning, and I hope to see you here one day at Keats also.